Welcome, everyone, to the Q&A session for our upcoming course, The Essentials of Energy Medicine, the 12 keys to unlock your inner life force for health, vitality, and joy. I'm Lisa Bonise, and I'm really looking forward to hosting this Q&A conversation for the Shift Network, where we'll explore the teachings of Donna Eden and David Feinstein and address questions about their upcoming 12-week course, The Essentials of Energy Medicine, which begins Tuesday, June 5th. Later, I'll explain how you can participate in this course, even if you can't attend the live sessions. But first, I want to introduce our guests. Donna Eden, a pioneer in the field of holistic healing, is among the world's most sought-after, most joyous, and most authoritative spokespersons for energy medicine. She's been able to clairvoyantly see the body's energies since childhood, and her abilities as a healer are legendary. Her classic book, Energy Medicine, is the textbook in hundreds of healing classes. Available in 18 languages, it won golds in both the USA Book News and Nautilus competitions. David Feinstein, PhD, is a clinical psychologist and a pioneer in developing innovative therapeutic approaches, leading to 9 national awards for his books on consciousness and energy healing. In addition to his 9 books, he has contributed more than 100 articles to professional literature. He and his wife, Donna Eden, have built the world's largest and most vibrant organization for teaching energy medicine. Their latest book, The Energies of Love, achieved bestseller status on the New York Times Love and Relationships list. And in just a few minutes, we're going to open up for your questions for Donna and David. But first, I want to welcome them to the call. They're going to start us off in an opening exercise. Welcome, Donna and David. It's great to see you today.
Hi, thank you. We're glad to be here.
Thank you, Lisa.
Okay, I'm just going to start with an exercise, okay? And I'll explain what you're doing. You're going to use your body's energies. You're going to shift them, and to be able to be, work better in your own body and to think better and feel better. So I'm going to give you a simple one that most people need. And if you put one hand, take your right hand and put it on your left shoulder. Push your fingers in on your shoulders, and then drag your hand all the way across to the opposite hip. And then do it on the other side. You're crossing energies over, and your body works maybe 50% better when your energies are crossing over, and you're not as vulnerable to illnesses and just not feeling good. So that's so simple. You can do it anytime. And
you really dig in at the shoulder, pull over with pressure and pressure all the way down to your opposite hip. Do it about 4, 5, 6 times.
Yeah. And it just sets you up to just feel better. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to tap right here on your cheekbones and notice if there's any tenderness there. When you tap on your cheekbones, that's on stomach meridian, and it grounds your energy so that you can pull up the energies from Mother Earth. Okay. You might have some red cheeks, but that's good. All right, now you're going to come down to right underneath your collarbone. And that's a point called K27. That's the 27th point on kidney meridian. That makes sure that your energies are going forth and you're just aligned with energy and with the world around you. Now, let's see, I'm going to turn it down a little bit, see if you can see. The next one is right here on your thymus gland. You've seen Tarzan. You know, he thumps his thymus. Monkeys and gorillas thump. Well, human beings do too at different times. You might see somebody go, oh my, oh no. You know, that's just a natural thing that helps, especially when you hear some news that was difficult or you feel a little stressed and you tap there, it gives vitality to your thymus gland and you are less likely to get sick. And the last ones, you're going to just drop to the bottom of your rib cage and thump right there, right below your breasts. And that's a really important point. It's a spleen point on your lymphatic system. And it helps metabolize all the information and all the exercises you do so that your body can really incorporate it well. Okay, so one last thing. You can take your hand, and you're going to start at the bottom of the trunk of your body and just zip up all the way to the bottom lip. Now, take your other hand and put it right here right in between your eyebrows, the third eye, and your other hand, put your finger in your belly button, push in, and pull both up. You might find that it kind of makes you breathe because it moves the oxygen right up central meridian and just brings centeredness and clarity. That was several exercises we gave you. We gave the crossover, we did the 4 thumps, and we zipped yourself up on central, and then you hooked up. 4 exercises.
So that's just a very basic energy medicine sequence that can very quickly start to change the way that the energies are running in your body.
Right.
Okay, thank you for that. I actually started doing the entire daily energy routine after the last time that we talked, and I hesitate to use the word miraculous because it seems like a little overused, but truly just doing the daily energy routine, which you just did partially, was really life-changing. So for those of you who are watching who think that looks a little crazy, do it. It's really remarkable what a difference it can make.
It's really true. I mean, we have people all over the world doing the daily energy routine because it just sets the field for you to have a much better day and feel more vitality and aliveness and health. And it's just so good for you.
It is indeed. All right, so we have the rest of our time together to dive into our viewers' questions for Donna and David as we prepare for their upcoming course. Again, it's called The Essentials of Energy Medicine, and it begins Tuesday, June 5th. And you want to check out the website and learn more about the 12-week course, you can visit energymedicinecourse.com to see the full description. So let's go ahead and get started with some questions. If you have a question for Donna and David, go ahead and type them in, and I'll be happy to read them aloud. And let's start first with a question from Heather. It's just sort of a general question. Heather wants to know, what is the most effective way to keep your energy healthy and clear? And I wouldn't be surprised if you just said the daily energy routine.
Yes. I mean, one of the things I have done for the last 30 years is teach the daily energy routine, because it's a way of working with all the different energy systems in your body to coordinate with each other, harmonize, work with you so that you just feel alive and vital. And so, yeah, the daily energy routine, and just those, we did 4 of the daily energy routine right for you at the beginning of this. And I would start with that.
Yes, and you will learn that in the course, and also people will find that some exercises that we teach really resonate with them, really seem to help them, and they'll incorporate those into their daily energy routine. So in terms of the question, the daily energy routine and really modifying it, adding to it in a way that really personalizes it for you is an excellent, very time-efficient way to incorporate an energy perspective into your life.
And I would like to say really quick, for people who are not used to working with energy, you will find that energy, well, first of all, energy is the life force. It's an astounding intelligence. I mean, for thousands upon thousands of years, energy has been healing you and knowing how to heal you.
And if not you, then your ancestors.
Your ancestors. And so it's tapping back into an ancient knowledge that our body already knows, and it will thrill you. That's what I can promise.
Wonderful. Thank you. Let's see. We've got a question here from Carrie who says, how does this differ from and complement Reiki?
Okay. There is no contradiction whatsoever between energy medicine and Reiki. They are different in the way that Reiki is more a laying on of hands and just a general bringing your energy into the body to do healing on it. I would say that energy medicine is very unique. Like if you have a headache, what to do for your headache. If you have, if you've got stomach problems, what to do. If you just don't have vitality, what to do. They're very specific things you can do, and just it's very pointed.
Very tailored. You tailor the intervention to what's happening in the person's body in terms of where the energies are off. So you're making an assessment that Reiki doesn't make, and you're making interventions that are unique to the person, whereas Reiki treats, kind of uses the same positions in regardless of the person. Reiki is very powerful. It's really wonderful how Reiki has gotten into hospitals, how Reiki has really, it's been around for a while, and there are a lot of great practitioners in it. It's been interesting that many of our other people that come into our certification program, we have 1,400 graduates of our 2-year certification program, and maybe 5 or 10% of them came in as Reiki masters.
Yeah.
And what they report is that they love the added flexibility. They love the added ability to really laser focus the work to what the body is needing, what this particular body is needing.
But being a Reiki master already, when they come into our classes, well, that's just like a jumping
Bonus.
off, a bonus, because it's so, it all makes sense as you start doing energy medicine then.
Okay, thank you for that. We're having some minor technical difficulties, but we're going to go ahead and plow through here. Let me go ahead and ask a question here. Actually, a few people are asking this same kind of thing since we're on the topic of Reiki, and because Reiki can be sent as distance healing. Is that something that you can do with your form of energy medicine? Can it be used as a distance on other people?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. We teach it up close on people, but people find after they've really learned this that they absolutely can send it long distance.
Now, some people have a kind of a capacity for that that's much stronger than other people, and it's very hard to explain it scientifically what's going on there. But the ironically, quantum physics, in looking at really minute particles, is familiar of influences at a distance, and the fact we're getting some strange sound. The fact that prayer, that distance healing, there's a lot of evidence that they work, that they have an effect, and even though many conventional scientists have sort of ignored that evidence or really tried to find ways to undermine it, it's there for anybody that really wants to look. So it does work, and it really doesn't matter whether it's Reiki or Donna's approach or another approach. I think it has a lot to do with the actual ability of the healer to enter the spaces where that energy gets projected over distances.
And I'd like to say that energy, whether it's done through Reiki or energy medicine, it's the oldest medicine on earth. And so people have been doing long distance healing for forever with both, probably, but energy does not have side effects. Only good. So it's practical and safe and easy to learn and easy to use, but it makes everybody a believer. That's what I would say. It makes everybody a believer. And for myself, many people come to us and take classes because they're ill. And we get, amazing things happen to people that some people would call miraculous because they do get well. Anyway, I'm just very thrilled that we're teaching this to you.
Wonderful. I've got a question here from Mary Beth, who says, does your body let you know you need to do the hookup? When I have a headache, I often do the hookup and it seems to help.
Yes, thank you. That's a very good question. People usually experience, the more they do this, the more they realize, they know even the exercises that will work for them, because the body gives feedback. And so if that feels good to you when you hook up and it helps your head, is because energy comes up your spine in a meridian called governing. And it's meant to come over your head, over your nose, to the back of your throat. And it connects up with central coming up the front. And when they hook up, with you're hooking it up, suddenly whatever is stuck in your head can move. So you're clearing things, and it's very, very good, and the energy keeps moving. So that's one way. That's one thing that can get corrected, is a headache.
Okay, thank you for that. Let's take a question here from Marcia. I think you'll get a kick out of this one. She says, Donna, have you always been so joyful, or is that something energy medicine has helped you develop? I rarely feel about someone, I want what she has, but I've always had that with you and your joyful nature.
Well, let's see. I think I have always been joyful, but, and see, it's not a but, it's an and. It's more, I know what to do if I do get stressed out. I know what to do for myself. I know how to take the stress away. And that's what I want for everybody in the audience here, in the world. I want people to be empowered to take away their own stress, to give themselves some more joy back, move those energies of what are called radiant circuits that, let me see, I think that's in module 10, to get those energies that really make you feel more alive and happy in this world. It's so worth it.
Wonderful. Thank you for that. We're getting a lot of questions from people. They're asking about their specific illnesses and ailments. And if we asked every single one of them, we would be here for 2 or 3 hours. So I wonder if you can just address during the course that's coming up, how will people know what to do for their own specific medical issues?
The difference between conventional medicine and energy medicine around specific illnesses is really important to understand, because in conventional medicine, you make a diagnosis based on symptoms and tests to then figure out, based on the symptoms and the test, what is the illness. And then you have protocols for treating the illness. Energy medicine does not focus on symptoms or illness. In energy medicine, what you are doing is you are finding where the energies are blocked, where they are out of harmony, where they are not flowing in the manner that is optimal. And then once you have identified that, you have techniques to go about to get the energy into a positive optimal flow. And so that's a very big difference. You're looking at different targets. And when that happens, healing happens. The symptoms get better. The illness passes. But you're not focusing on it. It's a very important difference. For one thing, our practitioners are not licensed to treat illness. So so there's that kind of legal aspect to it, but it's how it works anyway, regardless of what the law is. We don't treat illness. We don't focus on illness. We don't diagnose illness. The symptoms may give clues to where the energy is blocked, to where the energy needs attention. But what's very interesting to me is that the same physical condition in one person, these two people have diabetes, and in one person, the energy signature of that diabetes is very different than the energy signature of diabetes in another person. So we can't say, okay, here is the energy medicine protocol for diabetes. It really depends on the energy constitution of the individual that you're working with.
However,
on the other hand,
I mean, there are some things that you can count on. you can count on that if your energies are scrambled and not running smoothly in your body, or your chakras are not spiraling in a fluid flow, if they aren't sort of communicating with each other, if your energies are not flowing well, that's going to affect you getting well. Now, um, everything David said is true, and I want to just add a little something to it that might poke at it a little bit. And that is because I was ill, and that's how I got into this. I had multiple sclerosis, and I found, first of all, Western medicine gave up on me and said I wouldn't ever walk again. And I had 4 different specialists give me all of them gave within 4 years of how long I had to live. That was how long? 40 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
40 years, more than 40 years ago. And I somehow I knew they were wrong. They just didn't. I'd always seen energy, so I could look and I could see on my legs, between my knees and my hips, the energy wasn't flowing. So that's how I began. I began to figure out how could I get that energy to move on my quads here, up on my upper leg, and that's how it all began. And so it was all about getting the energy to move and unblock. And I'm somebody who tends to scramble if I do get stressed. And I found out that if my energies, and that's how the daily energy routine came about, that it's all about unscrambling the force fields and making things flow well and at a good speed. And so I went about trying to unscramble my force fields and my energy and make it not hurt in my legs. And I got well. And what is so interesting, though, with multiple sclerosis, that wasn't the first healing. I never went about trying to heal my allergies, but that's what healed first, because the body is a genius in the ways of knowing what to heal and how to heal first, knowing that these allergies were getting in the way of my getting well. So, I mean, I had never eaten any bread or anything like that in my life since I was very little, because I would have terrible allergic reactions, and I had low blood sugar, which is on the spectrum of diabetes, but it's on the low side. And so I ended up with going into insulin shock when I was growing up. And so it was about healing it all, but I didn't plan to heal those things. I wanted to be able to walk, get out of the wheelchair. And so that was the beginning. But I healed my allergies too, and I could eat sandwiches for the first time and things like that. So
yeah, it took her like 2 years of experimenting and figuring it out. And she did have the advantage that she could see energy, and she's very attuned to how energy feels in her body. So that was her microscope, her specialty. And at the end of that, when she was better, it became her passion to help other people who were not getting the help that they needed from whatever resources were available. And so that really, so she just was very determined to figure out what would help a person. What if the energy isn't moving here? What can I do to get it moving? And in the process, she'd never studied healing before she healed herself. She healed herself first, and then she got interested in studying it. And what was very interesting to me was that as she looked at different systems like Chinese acupuncture and the working with the chakras of yoga, and she realized that she sees energy patterns that have been described in other cultures and other healing traditions. And she recognizes 9 basic energy systems that she really works with. There are actually more, but 9 that she feels are important for healing work. And so so that was what a confirmation that what she sees is mapped out there. And so that's what she began to teach, is that how these 9 systems work with one another. They all interact, and if you start with one system, it may not be the place to start. So we teach our people how to work with other systems.
I'm butting in right now because I want to say, David said it took 2 years in all, but in 7 weeks' time, my allergies started going away. I mean, just different things happened. I used to have terrible hay fever. The hay fever went away. When I was a little girl, I had tuberculosis, so my lungs cleared up. It just went in stages, but it took 2 years before all of it was done, because after I could even walk well, I was numb everywhere. Sometimes my whole mouth wouldn't talk. My hands wouldn't work, and my leg and my feet wouldn't work. So it's like it went in stages. And what I want to say is, if you find yourself getting well while doing this, but it isn't as fast as you want, or it isn't as much as you want, please don't despair. I mean, the exciting thing about this is that it'll keep happening more and more and more and more until the layers are peeled off. And this is the best stuff in the world. I want you to do it.
So Lisa, in relationship to the series of questions asking about specific illnesses, that Donna really needs a person in front of her to see where the energies are off. There's not like a recipe. However, there are certain principles that do hold. Like if it's we mentioned diabetes, it's not only having to do with the pancreas, which everybody knows, it also has to do with the pancreas meridian, which is called spleen meridian, because it goes through the pancreas and the spleen. So that gives you a clue about where to look. And in the course, people will learn how to work with the different meridians, and you can kind of then go backwards. So Donna's answers,
module 3.
Yeah, it's module 3 really introduces the meridians, and that Donna's answers will probably by necessity have to refer to things that are learned in the course, because it's not something you can just say step 1, step 2, step 3. It's really more investigative work.
However, I can say, do the daily energy routine, which you will be learning, because that is the basis. That's the ground floor of everything, is to do that. And you will start feeling better right away. And and you will start getting clues as you go through the course, that makes sense about you. And you will even learn how to energy test, where to look. And I'm a little embarrassed, David, saying, well, I would have to look at them to see what a person needs. You're not going to need me. You're going to be able to start figuring it out energetically. And that's the truth.
Thank you for that. A lot of explanation. I appreciate that. Those of you who are just joining us, we're here with Donna Eden and David Feinstein, learning about their upcoming course, The Essentials of Energy Medicine, which begins Tuesday, June 5th. And you can log on to energymedicinecourse.com for all the details and to register. All right, let's get back to questions here. We've got a question here from Suzanne, who said, is there a way to shield your home or office from negative energy, such as microwaves, radiation, TV, radio, etc.?
Whoa. Yes, there are ways. The first thing, though, I would make myself shielded. I would work with the aura and the chakras so that you are shielded yourself, because our energies evolved over millions of years, and only in the last 100 years are we impacted by so many unnatural energies. So yes, I think
so many electromagnetic unnatural energies.
Yes, and yeah, EMFs, all of those things, and the television and your computer and all these things. But wherever you go, you're going to run into that. So what you want to do is to really strengthen your own field. There was a time in the 90s that I never dreamed this was going to happen to me, because I was so proud of having gotten myself well from multiple sclerosis and allergies. But in the 90s, I got really impacted by electromagnetic energies. And I mean, it was a terrible case of it. I'll just say that at nighttime, when I would go to sleep, energies would come up my legs and my body. And if I wasn't out of bed by morning, I couldn't use my arms, because they were very swollen. My hands were swollen. And it turns out we had a house that was built over an old river, but it had been rerouted. Still, we had that energy was still there, and some of the forks of the river were still under our house. And so I would really get it through the night. And I got it so bad that my aura wasn't there. So I wasn't protected in any way, shape, or form. In fact, what is it? Which is it, David?
Chapter 11 of Donna's book, Energy Medicine, talks about her journey in having to get to a place where she could live in this culture, live in the environment of our world here. And I was, she was really weakened, because right there in our home, there was an electromagnetic situation that was very invasive, and it really kind of started taking her down.
But because everything was depleted in me, I couldn't go anywhere without these energies just jarring me and throwing me off. And now, I mean, I'm a really sensitive being, but I mean, I can be around things that don't bother me anymore. I mean, there was a time there was no way I could work on the computer, because it just really jarred my energy. So my suggestion, yes, I just want to say, yes, there are things like discs and things you can put on your computer and phones and things, but the best thing you can do for yourself is strengthen your own field. And I believe, let's see, module 11, you're going to get all about the aura. So you're going to learn all about this stuff. And then you can walk through this world not being so impacted. You will still be sensitive, but in a good way. In fact, sensitivity makes you a wonderful healer, but you don't have to be harmed in this world.
Right. So things you can do internally or within your own body are getting your aura really strengthened. Also, the central meridian you want that to be really strong. And then, as Donna said, there are technological shields of one kind or another, and we're not against those. We just haven't evaluated them. We can't really advise about them.
And my deepest belief is that if you strengthen yourself and make your aura not impenetrable to wonderful energy, but impenetrable to those man-made electromagnetic energies that pervade our world now. I mean, it can really save you from getting sick too.
Wow, thank you. Wow, that's an amazing story. And we have a question here that's a perfect follow-up. Michaela says, it seems as if you're born so incredibly sensitive, specifically so you would learn to heal yourself and teach others what you've learned. Do you agree?
Yes, I agree. I believe I am not sorry that I was as sick as I was growing up with a lot of maladies, and especially the multiple sclerosis, because I think that was my journey. I had to get myself well so that I could share with people that all human beings can shift their energy and can begin to be able to hear what their body is saying to them, and you don't need to see it. Although I will tell you that an awful lot of people who have studied with us over time, that sensory ability of being able to see can wake up, and you can see energies. Other people might wake up and be able to feel them more deeply. We all, we're all blessed in different ways, but a lot of people do begin to see. But yes, I think that about myself. I think this was my journey. This was what I was supposed to do, and I, knock on wood, I'm blessed.
Well, thank you for taking on that challenge. We all appreciate it. Let's take a question here from Debbie, who says, do you think it's okay to eat flour and sugar, or is what we eat robbing us of vitality?
Oh boy. I will tell you that every single human being is unique in this world. Your energy is as unique as a thumbprint. And whereas sugar and flour might really rob some people of their vitality, other people, a certain amount, I mean, it's not going to harm them. Everybody's different. And you're going to learn how to energy test in this class. How to energy test foods and vitamins, what is good for you. And sometimes for people, it's not that they can't have some, they just can't have a huge amount, so you're going to learn all about your body in an amazing way. And you will feel differently about all the diets that are out there that are supposed to be so good for you. You'll find that you might be different, and that what is good for you might not be good for somebody else. And it's a wonderful thing to find out about yourself.
All right, thank you. We've got a question here. I believe it's pronounced Lee. And the question, you've sort of addressed this already. Is it true that places on Earth have different energy? Some places have higher vibrations. And how could I learn to sense these Earth energies?
Oh, yes. First of all, I think that if you are going to take this course, you will start being able to sense more and more. Just putting yourself in the field of learning about energy, your body's going to pick it up. It isn't your brain that picks it up first, usually. It's your body, because you have all these different energies flowing in your body. And you will start being more sensitive to different areas. One of my favorite places in the world is Ireland and Scotland, where there are so many stone circles. And oh my gosh, they are so powerful. And I have been with people. I remember many years ago going with my daughter and her then boyfriend to it wasn't actually in Ireland or Scotland. It was in England. Wow. There's a place in England way out by the ocean. I can't remember where it is, but they have these they weren't stone circles. They were long lines. I mean, maybe a mile of lines, maybe 10 or 12 lines, linear lines. And you'd walk among this. I mean, you just pick up so much. And the boy who was the boyfriend didn't believe it at all. And he was just sort of scoffing that you could feel it. But he went and he touched something called a cairn. A cairn is where they used to, and it was a part of the long line, is where they used to bury people. And he went and touched it. And he went, whoa! He bounced off of it. He said, I felt it. Oh my! It was like he was somebody who lived up in his head, but he could feel it and he knew it. And everybody I know feels something at those places, and it becomes stronger. It just becomes stronger. And I'll just one more thing.
Yes.
Like if you go to a public place, you might really feel it. Like if you go to what's the place in England? Stonehenge. But I will tell you, and Stonehenge, you can feel things. But if you go to one of these places out in the country where the public hasn't been walking through it so much, that has been more hidden, like in somebody's farm, there it is, just sitting a stone circle. And there are so many of them that aren't public places that you go as a tourist. They have more. You feel more at those than you do at a public place.
Well, that's good to know. Thank you. Well, looking at the clock here, we have time for a few more questions. But before we take those, I want to give a few details about the course. Again, it's called The Essentials of Energy Medicine. And this is going to be a life-changing 12-week journey under David and Donna's expert guidance, where you'll discover self-empowering approaches to complement Western medicine for healing disease, boosting well-being, and supporting your system as you age. And the 12-week course takes place on Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Pacific, starting Tuesday, June 5th. And if for any reason you can't join us live, that's fine. You will not miss the teachings. You will receive audio and video recordings, transcripts, and all course handouts on your course homepage. And also, the Shift Network offers a no-risk money-back guarantee, giving you a full 2 weeks until June 19th in this case, to make sure that it's a good fit. We want you to be happy. As an added option, all participants are welcome to connect in a private Facebook community group so you can stay connected with one another. And then, everyone who registers receives the Essentials of Energy Medicine bonus collection. First, you'll receive a 5-video series with Donna and David entitled Energies of Love. Next, you'll get a video from Titania Dolan, Donna Eden's daughter, called Energy Medicine Dance. And when you register by midnight Pacific on Wednesday, May 30th, you'll receive an additional bonus gift, and that is an audio interview by Dawson Church, one of my favorites, with Donna and David, entitled Relationship as a Spiritual Journey. Okay, so before we get back into questions, Donna and David, what are you most looking forward to sharing in your upcoming course?
Wow. Well, we're going to tap into all of the 9 energy systems. I love sharing about chakras. I love teaching chakras, and that's in one of the modules. I think it's module 5. There isn't one thing. I love teaching energy medicine. I think it's so important. I honestly feel that the world would be safer for everyone. The world would be a more joyful place to live in. Everybody would feel more empowered, and people would own their own energies and own their own identity and know themselves if everybody learned this. I think that I used to think this was an elective course. I no longer do. I think that it's just so invaluable to learn, and you will use it for the rest of your life. It is not something that you will learn and think that was an interesting course. You will learn this have this for the rest of your life, and know what to do when things do go wrong, and you will age better. How's that? You will like aging better, because to know how to help yourself when things are falling apart is it's just such a godsend. And it is more than just about your health. It's about how well you learn. If you feel like, if you have children who are not learning well in school in a certain subject, straightening out their energies, doing the daily energy routine, they will learn better. I grew up very dyslexic, and I don't feel I only show dyslexia might show up a little bit if I get very, very stressed out. And the science used to say that it's nothing that could be changed. That just isn't true. It isn't true. Both my daughters were dyslexic growing up, and they are amazing. Tanya, who you're going to get an energy dance from, she until she was about in the 9th grade, she was even considered klutzy, that she would be the last kid picked on a team and certainly never be able to dance, and she would never be able to speak. She took #1 in the nation as a speaker when she was at university, and she is the best teacher of dancing now. But it was all with the energy. So she teaches energy dance, and she's a great teacher of children who have problems of being uncoordinated. It's just, you got to get your energies coordinated again. So it's about everything. It's also about your relationships. And there is a module. Let me see. Module 6 is understanding your sensory systems. Oh, it'll really help you with your relationships. Energy is about everything. There is nothing on this planet that energy is not about.
Right, and I have a simple answer to the question of what I'm excited about. Is that, because it's what happened for me, is that, we live our lives, we do the best we can, and to discover that there are invisible energies that really aren't talked about by science, energies that are known in other traditions, other healing schools, but not so much in the West, that they make a difference. That if you become conversant with them, if you learn simple techniques, such as just what we started the call with, simple techniques like that, get those energies flowing in a way that makes your life better. And so that's what I hope for people from the course is that you learn these simple concepts and techniques that will make a difference for you, that will help you be more healthier, more vital, more efficient, think more clearly. All of that comes from optimizing your energies. So you'll,
hey, Lisa, can I teach another exercise?
Absolutely, yes. Yes.
Here's what you do when you're feeling stressed or just overwhelmed by anything and you want to get yourself back a little bit. You rub your hands together and shake them off. Then you put your hands sideways over your eyes, okay, with your eyes shut. Now you're going to take a deep breath in through your nose. And as you let your breath out your mouth, you're going to drag your fingers across your eyes to your temples. Now, right here underneath your fingers in your temples is there are something called neurovascular points for triple warmer. And triple warmer governs your fight or flight or freeze response. So if you just take one deep breath there, it just helps release some of that energy. And take another in-breath and go up around your ears, and then around your ears and down your neck and hang on your shoulders. Now take a deep breath in again, drag your fingers over your shoulder and land on your heart chakra. And just release. That takes stress buildup out of your body. So it's a great thing to do at any given time that you feel like, wow, you've had too much to handle, too much to deal with. Take that stress buildup out of your body so that you're more present, and also you get rid of that stress buildup so you don't get some stress-related illness.
Well, thank you for that extra bonus exercise. Perfect. Thank you. Let's go to a question here from Cheryl, who says, can you tell us a little bit about the spiritual aspect of energy medicine?
Okay. First, I will tell you that I would say that my classes, for the most part, are actually very practical. They're on the level of how to do it and what to do. But what happens is that I've never met anybody who didn't stick with this, that didn't become more spiritual, because you get in touch with energy. It's not what you can touch, feel, smell, see. It's not that. It's an energy that really can make you feel better, and it begins to make you feel more connected into the spiritual realm, and to understand that there is something else out there that is taking care of us. And no, you become more spiritual. It just happens.
It seems that energy is the bridge between our physical bodies and the creative forces in the universe that really orchestrate life. And so to be working with the energies in your body just helps you to get more and more, go further and further out on that bridge.
Yeah.
Interesting. Thank you. Let's take a question here from Kimberly, who says, how would flower essences play into the role of energy healing?
Well, I don't teach flower essences, but I will tell you that they do fit in, because those essences, the vibration of the essences, the smell of the essence, that's all about energy. And if you are attracted to a certain flower essence, boy, I'd trust it. I'd trust it without anybody energy testing you. But you can also find out where that flower essence might specifically affect you, like in an organ or in or some other way. It might help you specifically somewhere in your body. But if it feels good, that vibration, you begin to trust the vibration of things more.
Okay, thank you. This is a question. Actually, a couple different people are asking them this question, but this is the most entertaining version of it. The question is, I tried holding a pendulum over my chakras, and I must be dead. Not a bit of movement, not even in the palms of my hands. I live alone, and I'm trying to find ways that would provide me with accurate muscle tests.
Okay, first of all, First of all, I would say that that's how David started out. He didn't feel a thing in the beginning, but he did over time. And I think David will say that it was chakras and not using a pendulum, because a pendulum, I think a lot of people love pendulums, and boy, more power to them if they've got a connection to the pendulum. But I don't use a pendulum because the energy from my hands, I need to be connected up to the energy, to when I'm working with a person or anything else, I really want that direct connection. So David, you tell what happened to you.
Well, in our classes, we teach people how to work with the chakras by taking your hand and about 2 inches above a chakra and moving it in a counterclockwise direction first. And that pulls the energy out of the chakra. It's kind of like changing the oil of the chakra. It pulls the energy out. And then after 2 or 3 minutes of that motion, then you go in the other direction and it stabilizes the energy. When you pull the energy out, vacuums fill themselves. You don't need to go in the opposite direction to get the energy to come back. It just does, but it stabilizes it. So this was the first time when I was in the class, and sometimes there'd be an odd number of people, so I needed to partner with somebody. And sure enough, I could feel the energy coming out. I could feel it in my hand. It was accumulating. It was very visceral, very, very evident. And so that was, and many of our students, that is the sense that opens up first, is that they can feel the energies kinesthetically long before they can see them. And Donna interestingly, doesn't put that much premium on seeing the energies. She both feels them and sees them. And if there's a contradiction, she trusts what she feels more than what she sees. So it's very dramatic to be able to see energy, but it's not necessary to do this work, nor is it necessarily going to go open up in a person. Different people are constructed so that different senses are more likely to attune to the subtle energies of the universe.
And may I suggest, because it sounds like you've got a little bit of despair that you can't feel anything. For now, I mean, later on, you might want to come back to your pendulum, but because you want to feel it, just open your hand all the way and very, very slowly. I'm going over my heart chakra now. Go very slow, doing a counterclockwise motion, and stay with it. And eventually, you'll probably start feeling a buzz or warmth or something like that. And it gets stronger and stronger the more you open to the energies, because we just have lived in a world where we haven't been open to them. So they might be a little dormant in you, but have no despair. You will be able to open.
It's not to put down the use of a pendulum, because we teach that.
Yeah.
And it's just such an efficient way to give yourself a quick chakra clearing. But if you want to take a little more time, just do it the way Donna said, and that is more important.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. That leads to another follow-up question. We've got people asking, when you say clockwise or counterclockwise, because we may be looking at a mirror image of you, which direction are you actually moving your hand?
Take your clock. Put a clock right on your. Imagine a clock on your body, and you know which way the clock goes forward and the way it goes backwards. So just the way that the clock goes backwards.
Right. So for the heart chakra, this is the clock, and the clock is going within my body the way that a clock goes. That is what is considered clockwise. So within here, the clock is going like that, in that direction. I'm not sure. It's funny because the video that we see is backwards. So
we're not sure what you're seeing.
I'm not sure.
But just imagine a clock here, and you'll be able to do it. You'll be able to, the way that it goes counterclockwise, the way that it goes clockwise.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I have a clock embedded in my chest, like I'm a statue with a clock, and people are looking at
Right.
me, they're seeing the clock.
Right.
Okay, great. Just want to make sure we get that perfectly clear.
Okay.
Great, thank you. All right. Let's see. Let's do one last quick question here. This is from Jennifer, who wants to know, are tremors blocked energy? And if so, what would be your advice to unblock it?
Thank you. Tremors, there's a lot of different terms I would use. A block isn't one of them. Now, this is without seeing her, so I'm not absolutely sure, but tremors are usually a part of sort of an electrical system in the body. It's like one of the things I saw on my computer today, and I've been seeing it for the last week, is that it jumps right now. I'm not sure why, but there's something in the electrical system. And so I've seen that in human beings. The electricity can get, it's just not smooth. So you ask what you could do for it. Again, I'd have to almost see the energy, but I would probably, this is a probably, it's probably on bladder meridian, okay? Probably. Or it might be on your electrical system. Bladder meridian governs your nervous system. So if there's something in the nerves that are doing it, you can sedate bladder meridian, and that will help. If it's in the electrical system itself, there are some points right here at the back of the head, and you can really massage those points there. It just depends. So you will learn all this in the class, and I believe that you will walk away with things that can really help your body.
Perfect. Thank you. And people will be able to, you'll have Q&A after each course as well. Yes. So people will be able to ask their specific question.
You have an incredible faculty that supports this class. And after each of the 12 sessions, there will be a Q&A session where you're able to ask all the questions you have about what was taught in that particular class, as well as in previous classes. There's also our faculty monitors the Facebook page that's connected to the course, and they will answer your questions. So there's a tremendous amount of resource there. We'll be coming back to do the Q&As for one of the 12 classes, and we'll look forward to that. That's when we'll see you next live, but you'll be seeing hours and hours and hours of us teaching this class.
All right, perfect. Thank you. Well, looking at the clock, we're out of time here. This has been, as usual, talking to you guys is so fun and so fascinating. I want to thank our viewers for being with us today and for all of your questions. The Essentials of Energy Medicine starts Tuesday, June 5th, and you can check out energymedicinecourse.com to learn more and to register. So before we cut you loose, Donna and David, got any final words?
Wow. I'm excited for you. When you learn energy medicine, it changes your life. It changes your perspective. You know the world in a different way, and it's good for every human being on the planet. So, and you will raise your children different if you have children to raise yet, or your grandchildren. You just will have a stronger tendency to want to do what is natural instead of giving them medicine or something like that.
We have more and more photos from parents and grandparents showing their 3-year-old doing an energy technique on mom or grandma.
Yeah, it's great. It's great. So my blessings on this journey. So we hope we see you in the class, and that you get as much out of it as we're saying you can get out of it. Yes, absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you again, Donna and David. It has been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you,
Lisa. It's been great talking with you.
Okay, bye, everybody.
Bye.
Right. Well, thank you once again to everyone who joined us today. On behalf of all of us at the Shift Network, I wish you well and look forward to having you on this course or perhaps another one in the future. Have a great day, everyone.